Hello friends, welcome back to yet another video. Satyajit Rayയുടെ വളരെ ഫേമസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ചാരുലത എന്ന സിനിമയെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ വീഡിയോ. ഈ സിനിമയുടെ സമ്മറി, എക്സാമിന് ചോദിക്കാവുന്ന ചോദ്യോത്തരങ്ങൾ എല്ലാം ഇതിൽ വളരെ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയി ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഈ വീഡിയോ മുഴുവനായി കാണാനും ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യാനും ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാനും മറക്കരുത്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് കടക്കാം. Let us begin with the summary of the film Charulata. Charulata or The Lonely Wife is 1964 film by Satyajit Ray. It is his 12th feature film. It is based on Tagore's 1901 novella titled Nastanir or The Broken Nest. It tells the story of the Bhadralok, the intellectuals who were influenced by Brahma Samaj and the Bengal Renaissance. Ray said it was a most satisfying film. He also said that the heroine of the film, Charulata, was the archetypal Ray woman who was a honest, direct and mentally strong enough to cope with tough situations. Through her character, Ray explores the modern upper-class Indian woman who understands the world as she pleases in spite of the societal restrictions. In the film, Madhabi Mukherjee plays the role of Charulata. Charulata is the cultured, beautiful and intelligent wife of Bhupati, acted by Selan Mukherjee. Bhupati is interested in the freedom movement and social reform. He is the editor and publisher of a newspaper. He has no time for his wife. So he asks Charulata's eldest brother Umapada and his wife Manda to stay with them. Umapada takes a job in the printing press, but Manda is very unsophisticated and is not a suitable companion to Charulata. Charulata is interested in the arts, poetry and literature. Meanwhile, Bhupati's handsome young cousin Amal, Soumitra Chatterjee, visits them. Bhupati asks him to encourage Charu's cultural interest. Amal, who is the same age with Charu, shares her literary and political interest and gives her companionship. Soon a close friendship develops between them. But there is also some rivalry between them as she published a short story in response to a poem he published. Amal soon realizes that Charu is in love with him, but he can't reciprocate. Umapada and his wife cheat Bhupati and run away with his money. The newspaper and the press are destroyed. Bhupati tells Amal that he is the only one he can trust. Amal feels guilty and so he goes away from Bhupati's house to get married and go to England for higher studies. Charu feels heartbroken. Bhupati realizes that she had love for Amal. He is shocked and wanders in his carriage. When he returns, Charu and Bhupati make a hesitant gesture to shake hands, but their extended hands remains frozen. Rai was more interested in the inner struggle of individuals than in any definite plot and action. At the beginning of the film, he shows the loneliness of Charulata by showing her looking out from the different windows of her house. She is like a caged bird. Her husband Bhupati is too busy reading. There is a lack of intimacy between them. Even without much dialogue, with the swing sequence, we are told that Charu and Amal are in love. In the final sequence, when Charu opens the door for Bhupati, the shot is frozen as their hands are extended to each other. Then there are some still shots depicting various moods of Charu and Bhupati. The film ends with the word Nastanir written across the scene. In the story by Tagore, Charu asks Bhupati to take her with him when he goes out. Rai said later, the two are about to be reconciled and then prevented from doing so. Charulata becomes a modern woman on colonial India. From an object of desire, she changes into a desiring subject, capable of showing her needs and preferences. This desire for freedom brings trouble in her marriage. The film was a great success in India and abroad. Rai won the President's Gold Medal in 1964 and Silver Bear for Best Direction at the Berlin International Film Festival in 1965. Let us discuss the questions and answers from the film Charulata. Question number 1. What was the profession of Bhupati? Answer. Bhupati is the editor and publisher of a newspaper. He is also interested in the freedom movement and social reform. Second question. Why did Bhupati bring Umapada and Manda to live with them? Answer. It is because he thought he could not give enough time to his wife Charulata because of his busy work as the editor and publisher of a newspaper and his interest in freedom movement and social reform. Umapada was the brother of Charulata and Manda was his wife. Bhupati thought they would give company to Charulata and help in removing her loneliness. Third question. Why did Bhupati ask Amal to provide Charu with companionship? Answer. Bhupati asked Amal to provide Charu with companionship because he knew that Charu had literary, cultural and political interest. Amal also had such interest. Bhupati wanted Amal to give her companionship so that she could pursue her interest with Amal's encouragement and support. Fourth question. How did Bhupati lost his trust in Umapada? Answer. Bhupati gave Umapada a job in his printing press. His wife Manda was supposed to help Charu and remove her loneliness, but Umapada and Manda stole Bhupati's money and ran away. Fifth question. What caused guilt in Amal? Answer. Amal is a handsome young cousin of Bhupati. He is of the same age with Charulata. Amal was brought to the household of Bhupati to give intellectual companionship to Charu. But Charu developed some kind of romantic feeling towards Amal. Amal could not reciprocate her feeling and this was the cause of his feeling of guilt. Sixth question. What were Amal's reasons to leave Bhupati's house? Answer. Amal said he wanted to get married and then go to England for higher studies. Seventh question. Why was Charu heartbroken? Answer. Charu was heartbroken because she had started loving Amal. So when she came to know that he was leaving, she felt heartbroken. Eighth question. What caused Bhupati to wander aimlessly towards the end? Answer. Bhupati realized that his wife Charu had love for Amal. He was shocked and that makes him wander aimlessly in his carriage. Earlier, he was cheated by Umapada and his wife Manda as they ran away with his money, ruining the newspaper and the press. Ninth question. Do you think it is possible for Charu to reconcile with Bhupati? Why? Answer. I think it is possible for Charu to reconcile with Bhupati. After all, she is an honest and intelligent person who knows much about the happenings in the world. Everybody makes mistakes. As they say, to err is human, to forgive is divine. Tenth question. Why was Charulata a lonely wife? Answer. Charulata was a lonely wife because her husband Bhupati was the editor and publisher of a newspaper. He was also interested in freedom movement and social reform. He was always busy with his work. Even when he came home, he was busy reading things. He had no time to spend with his wife. Charulata, Bhupati's wife, was much interested in the arts, poetry, literature, and cultural affairs. But the busy Bhupati had absolutely no time to encourage his wife in her literary activities or cultural activities. There was nobody else at home to share her ideas, and this made her a lonely wife. The 11th question: how does Satyajit Ray bring out the internal conflict of his characters? Answer: Satyajit Ray was more interested in the inner struggle of individuals than in any definite plot and action. At the beginning of the film, he shows the loneliness of Charulata by showing her looking out from the different windows of her house. She is like a caged bird. Her husband Bhupati is too busy reading. There is a lack of intimacy between them. Even without much dialogue, with the swing sequence, we are told that Charu and Amal are in love. In the final sequence, when Charu opens the door for Bhupati, the shot is frozen as their hands are extended to each other. Then there are some still shots depicting various moods of Charu and Bhupati. The film ends with the word Nastanar written across the scene. 12th question: comment on the last scene of the film. Answer: we see that Bhupati is betrayed by everyone whom he trusted. He brought Charulata's brother Umapada and his wife Manda, hoping that their presence in the home will help Charulata to overcome her loneliness. But Umapada and Manda ran away with Bhupati's money, ruining the newspaper and the press. Bhupati also brought his handsome young cousin Amal, hoping that he, with his interest in the arts, literature, and cultural affairs, would give companionship to Charulata and encourage her in her activities. But we find him falling in love with Charulata. This knowledge shattered Bhupati, and so he enters a carriage and roams aimlessly in the streets. In the final scene, we see him returning home. Charu opens the door for Bhupati. Then the shot is frozen as their hands are extended to each other. Then there are some still shots depicting various moods of Charu and Bhupati. The film ends with the word Nastanar written across the scene. 13th question: how does the character of Charulata problematize the presupposed role of the contemporary Indian women? Answer: Charulata is based on the story Nastanar by Rabindranath Tagore, set in Calcutta in the late 19th century. The Bengali Renaissance is at its peak, and India is under British rule. The film revolves around Charulata, the intelligent and beautiful wife of Bhupati. He edits and publishes a political newspaper. Bhupati is an upper-class Bengali intellectual with a keen interest in politics and the freedom movement. Charu is interested in arts, literature, and poetry. Although Bhupati loves his wife, he has no time for her. She has little to do in the house run by a fleet of servants. Sensing her boredom, Bhupati invites Charu's elder brother Umapada and his wife Manda to live with them. Umapada helps in running the magazine and the printing press. Manda, with her silly and crude ways, is no company for the sensitive, intelligent Charulata. Amal, who is Bhupati's younger cousin, comes to visit them. Bhupati asks him to encourage Charu's cultural interest. Amal is young and handsome, and he is in the same age group as Charu. He has literary ambitions and shares her interest in poetry. He provides her with much needed intellectual companionship and attention. An intimate and teasing friendship develops between Charulata and Amal. There is a hint of rivalry when she publishes a short story on her own without his knowledge, following his publishing of a poem that she had forbidden him from getting punished. He realizes that Charulata is in love with him, but he is reluctant to reciprocate due to his relation with Bhupati, who is his cousin. Amal goes away saying that he is getting married and is planning to go to England for higher studies. The departure of Amal breaks the heart of Charulata. When Bhupati realizes why she is heartbroken, he too is shocked. So he leaves home and roams about aimlessly in a carriage. When he returns home, Charu opens the door for him and the film ends by showing their extended hands going for a handshake. We are not sure if they will reconcile their differences and live happily as husband and wife. The problem of Charulata is also the problem that is faced by contemporary Indian women who has the freedom to work and choose her friends. Thanks for watching the video patiently. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel and comment your views.